Um, we're gonna move back to the west, and from Stockholm we have Christer Asplund, who is an author who's published several books. And yesterday I had the pleasure of having lunch with him, and we talked extensively about entrepreneurial ecosystems. And he's got very interesting perspectives on not only the ecosystems, but what is a startup culture. And so please, a warm welcome to Christer, and I look forward to hearing your points.
Thanks a lot, or Teşekkür ederim. It's a privilege, actually, to stand here today. I was here for some years ago, developing the Antalya development and branding plan for investors. Now I am here for this event, and I'm delighted. I would like to address one missing link here today. And the missing link is the place. There is a place somewhere. Implicitly, we have already done this now and then, yesterday and a little bit today. We have touched upon what happens in Estonia. Actually, we should say Tallinn. Someone yesterday referred to Stockholm. Some of you referred to Silicon Valley and Palo Alto. We referred to Singapore, and I heard someone say something about Hong Kong, etc. This means that there are interesting possibilities in a micro context. Let me ask you one question. How many places, which is impossible to answer actually, how many communities are there totally in Western Europe? How many communities? Could you give me some first response to that? How many communities are there totally in Western Europe? 100,000. Did you say so? No, you said 100. 100,000. No, that is wrong. The answer is 155,000 communities. I have had the privilege to travel around in these communities for 40 years now. I'm extremely old, as you can see. I would say that in each of these microclimates, the mayors and the business community, they try to foster investments. They want to have startups. They want this and this and this. They are talking in the same terms as you do today, as we do today here. So the challenge is, of course, to do it in a differentiating way, to deliver beyond the expectations. Most of the communities, they don't have managers capable of doing this, unfortunately. So they are out. But there are places, there are many places, which are in the forefront of bringing startups up to the arena. And they embrace transparency often, by the way. They embrace startups, as we said, and an open climate within the internet as well. So it's very important to embrace transparency in the internet. That is the first prerequisite. I don't say more than that right now. Everyone understands what I'm talking about anyhow. There should be a remote control somewhere. Yeah, it was hidden. So. Can you see the ad from Newsweek? This ad did cost me 10 euro. I invited a journalist to come to this hot spot of internet 10 years ago. 10 euros was the price. But I forgot, I paid my lunch myself also. So it was 20 euros. That was the cost, 20 euros. It has been valued, this advertise and the survey inside in 6 pages, to 10 million euros. That was the price, the 20 euros gave this. And the thing was, behind all this, was that we had taken some brave decisions locally to foster startups and entrepreneurs, and to do the entrepreneurs as the real heroes. And I was responsible for this at that time, at least. We sponsored and we brought up personalities like Daniel Ek and Martin Laurelsson, who founded Spotify. We brought up and legitimized also the warfare that Niklas Zennström started, called Skype, and everyone knows what I'm talking about. We fostered these individuals. We made them heroes. In reality, we legitimized it, because it was tough time, of course, to be in warfare with the teleoperators, certainly, but we fostered it. And now we foster mobile payments in the same way. Now, we brought up a number of talent attraction arenas, where, as we do here today, by the way, it looks like the same issue. What we did was to challenge the world. The Stockholm Challenge Award was brought up to the global arena, and we invited also the best entrepreneurs, the best startups to come to Stockholm. We invited them for the Nobel laureate dinner, and everything looked like a Nobel event. They were the Nobel laureates, actually, and this was extremely appreciated. And it did cost a lot of money, but every single euro it was worth, I promise. So we gave networking arenas. We promoted the best global applications, also mobile applications already at that time. We put the people together in a concept called TIME. TIME is the acronym for T is telecom, I is information technology, M stands for media, and E for entertainment. And we try to put these actors together. And they are very, very different personalities. But this was very important, and we promoted this extensively from the City Hall, by the way. From the City Hall. We paid for it, we organized it, and now this has developed into the CIME project, completely private, by the way. It's a today this is a global activity. From Stockholm, Helsinki, Barcelona, and now also San Francisco have the CIME activities. It's called the Scandinavian Interactive Media Event. All these activities, all this growth, all these startups, they have one prerequisite, and that is, of course, talents. You need more talents. When there is growth in the system, you need more talents. You need to invite and welcome in a professional way talents. So talents should come also from Bangalore. It's very popular, by the way, to go to Scandinavia from Bangalore, or San Francisco, Palo Alto, to, in my case, perhaps Stockholm. So the next global startup trend is today to find talents, to invite talents. In all countries where you have growth, they're asking for more talents. Here is Turkey today, strongest trend, talent deficit. Here is the United States. Here you find, of course, Singapore. Always Singapore up on the agenda, because they have no raw material, they have said, other than talents. They have not even water. They need more talents. And they are building an infrastructure for talents. And heaven knows how many Scandinavians have moved to Singapore also. So this is the talent capital. The Singapore is the talent capital of the world. It's very impressive. They have a very smart cooperation between public and private from the City Hall and the commercial sector as well. We have recently now published a book on how you should act from the place in order to promote talents. We call it talent attraction management. And this book is available from last week. We are going to circulate one-page summary of the whole activity after this speech. I am certain that Turkey could be much more efficient on the talent attraction management arena in the future. We are also talking about clusters and what a place can do for better clusters as a main startup pillar. When I was young, we were very impressed of Pierre Lafitte in Sophia Antipolis. We went there and we went to Palo Alto and we learned how to form clusters. That was long ago. Now the cluster activities are everywhere, I should say. I would just like to summarize one thing here from the cluster building. As you could see on each of these clusters, I took them just by chance, is that there is always one, as we call, place manager behind. It should be a brilliant person that has a long view and a short view and can deliver things accordingly also, to invite the startups in a truthful way also. This is why we find behind the scene there is also always one or two persons being brilliant in cluster building. Down to the right, we have a small city, not more than 100,000. They had a problem. They had few startups and very introvert attitudes. This is in the northern part of Sweden. Today, after a very effective program, they have managed to build 80 startups and 800 new jobs in these startups. What did they do? They introduced strong reward system, demo sites, which is actually innovative tendering. So the place could put money into innovative tendering in order to verify the new solutions, to legitimize the new solutions also. VC funding events, of course, hero stories, popular website, international matchmaking. To have a bridge to Silicon Valley was offered, of course, during this process. And these results very much were generated from this bridge building with Silicon Valley. And again, there is a place manager behind. This is a very nice flower. We have focused on one flower, not all flowers. We need always to focus on something. If you have no focus, there is no result. You need to focus. We have said to ourselves now that, and we tried to do it in Stockholm, but the city of Stockholm was a little bit too big. So we did choose a smaller city, 55,000 inhabitants only, saying that now we will introduce mobile payments with M-commerce, not e-commerce, which we heard from MasterCard here. It's M-commerce now in a modern society, if I may say so. So we introduced M-commerce everywhere in the city, together with a number of startups and also a very entrepreneurial run bank. So the bank is very important. I could reveal afterwards which bank it is. You see, we have a number of applications here which have all in common that you need transactions, financial transactions. And we have the city hall on board and they legitimize it. What struck me yesterday and today was the number of fragmented applications we have heard about this day. But you think of the fact, the scenario, I should rather say, that Antalya legitimized a number of travel apps in the Antalya city app. With 12 million visitors in Antalya. You can imagine which enormous impact that would have if you not fragmented the activities, but took a broad activity like this and promoted mobile payments and m-commerce here for all these 12 million visitors you have, it's an enormous demo site, actually. So this is what we are doing. In order to, as we say, making everyday life a bit easier for the citizens. This is far away from the silo thinking that is pursued everywhere, actually. Silos and silos and silos. You need to think horizontal, actually. It's not easy for the city hall to understand that, but there are city halls in Europe and also in Asia that are capable of thinking horizontal. So, M-City. Finally, start-up climate is fertilized via actions in a value chain. Don't start here with place branding. You need to start here. With demo site activities, you legitimize the startups. You have innovative tendering from the public sector also, and of course from the private sector. It's not only always the price that should be prioritized. It could be the technology. It could be the height of the innovation. So you develop local attractions, smart specialized system, for example, for Antalya, with the 12 million tourists, you specialize in a huge city app for tourists. It doesn't exist today. That we call a demo site. And finally, of course, talent attraction to Antalya or Istanbul or whatever it is. This was the message from Stockholm. Thanks a lot.
Great, thank you so much. I like that the M-commerce. It's a nice way to kind of put it in perspective and understand it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sick and tired of the e-commerce. Yes.
I don't think the e-commerce people feel that way.
No, certainly not. But let's discuss things and see. I might be wrong, by the way.
We can all be wrong, but I think that's terrific. And thank you so much for sharing your insights from Stockholm, which is really one of the big startup hubs in Europe. It's great to see all those startups coming out of Stockholm.
Yep.
Great, and if you get a chance to visit, you should. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, you say so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A round of applause for Christer, please. Thank you.